ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the one and only Kharlie Brown. And once again, it's time to go around the town with Kharlie Brown. I keep looking that way because it's something I forgot. So, as I told you guys in the previous video or video before this, I don't know how many videos ago it was, but I said that I had a lot of DVDs, and out of all my DVDs and movies and series to be exact, I had a bunch of them that were still wrapped that I didn't really go through. I haven't had a chance to really go through and watch any of those movies. Well, the first one's down the hatch right now. The movie called Sacrifice. It's actually Millennium Pictures was the studio produced this, and it's a double feature. It's the movie Sacrifice as well as the movie with Cuba Gooding Junior. Both movies starring Cuba Gooding Junior. The other one called Way of War. But Sacrifice, that's the one that I just checked out. Cuba Gooding Jr. in this movie, he plays a detective who works like narcotics, and his family is murdered because of a job that he decides to take. Some bad guys end up showing up and taking out his family. Story then persists from there. There's a young man who's actually involved with a crime family, and he wants to get out, but he needs to protect his younger sister. He's all his sister has. This young man tries his best to try to get out. He asked to get out. They said no, of course. Then after saying no, you then find out that that young man, he wants to develop a plan. His plan is to steal something from them, and that thing that he steals from them, he'll trade that for money so that he can then get out. The plan backfires. He ends up losing his life. After that happened, Cuba Gooding Jr., his character has to step in. Now, with that being said, that's pretty much the whole story of the actual movie. Now, the movie itself is basically just focusing on what's going on with like drugs and stuff like that in America as well as in other places in the world. But they really just focus on what's going on right here. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, his character is like written like every other like tough cop character that loses something. Remember, like, in the movie Lethal Weapon, how crazy that character was. You know, Mel Gibson, his character, how crazy his character was. And that kind of becomes a staple when it comes to movies like that. He's the edgy cop, and he's living on the edge. He's always drinking. He's literally driving a car in one of the scenes in this, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character. He's driving the car. He reaches in the glove box. He reaches in, he takes out some pills. And he has a headache. He takes the pills. He doesn't take the pills. He takes the bottle, downs the pills. Then he reaches for some water. He doesn't have water. So then he reaches underneath his seat. Mind you, he's a cop, okay? He reaches underneath his seat, takes out a bottle of alcohol, and then drinks it. This guy does so many things in this movie that's just ridiculous. I don't know what they're trying to prove with this. Like, oh, he's an edgy guy. It's like, yeah, but we've seen that in other movies before. There's another scene where he's forced and he has to go and see his shrink, his therapist. And the department says he has no choice, but he has to do it, okay? He goes to see her, and when she comes up the stairs to go into her office, she picks up his clothes that are outside. She walks in. He's in his underwear with headphones on, shadow boxing, and sweating. And then they have a conversation together about how he needs to let go. He needs to sell his house and move on. And there's other characters that's close to him that say the same thing. Another guy named Mike, to be exact, that's like one of his partners, best friends in the force. And that guy's looking out for him. And throughout the movie, consistently, he's like, well, how did he know this? And what was going on with this? He's kind of like left out the loop about a lot of stuff that's going on. And the priest is actually played by, how did I forget this? Christian Slater. Christian Slater is the priest, which kind of threw me off. I had to look back at it because I was like, is that Christian Slater? Yeah. But Christian Slater was the priest who's a friend of the detective. But the movie's called Sacrifice. They even try to explain why the movie's called Sacrifice. They start talking about it because he's a priest. And it's like, do you know what sacrifice really means? You know, sacrificing this thing and stuff like that. At the beginning of the movie, they actually give you a definition for the word sacrifice at the beginning of the movie. All right, let's get a little bit more into the movie. I told you about the main character and what he was going through and stuff like that. He and how they develop his character. To me, basically, his character is just like, again, like other edgy cops, and that's the best way of putting it. Other things going on in the movie, the acting in this movie is atrocious. You can clearly tell that it's one of those paycheck movies. It's like, all right, you're gonna give me a paycheck, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. All in all, if I had to like tell you guys or recommend it, I'm not giving this a grade at all. I'm not. I don't think I'm giving any of these movies a grade. I'm just, whether or not you guys should watch it or not, and why I even bought it. I don't even know why I bought this. I can't remember why. Maybe because it was like $5 or so. I don't know. But so far, it's a double feature, and the first one, I wouldn't recommend watching it. I mean, if it comes on television, I would say watch it. And there's really not that much interest in this movie at all. Other than Cuba Gooding Junior, there's really no reason to actually watch the movie. The acting, again, I did not like the acting. But I know the people in there can actually act. I've seen a lot of the people in this and other things. The cinematography is kind of off. It's kind of boxy at times, but you can clearly tell it's because probably the budget they had. I think the majority of the money in this movie went to Cuba Gooding Junior, and Christian Slater, if you ask me. But if this movie comes on television and you have nothing to do, I would say watch it, but don't go out of your way to watch it. If you get a double feature like this and it's a touch to something else, it's only $5 or so. I say go ahead and buy it, but all in all, I wouldn't recommend this for anybody at all. It's not. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna forget this movie. I don't know, the next 27 minutes. I don't know. But all in all, I say the Cuban Junior did get a good job, given what the movie was worth. The writing in the movie, I think it could have been better if the actors, the scenery and stuff like that was maybe a little bit better, or I don't know what to really say that would really help the movie itself. But it's like one of those movies that come on TV, nothing's going on, and you just watch it. That's the best way of putting it. It's not a ooh, I gotta see this movie, or it's not like, ooh, this is one of the most terrible movies of all time. It's not that. It's just a movie. That's the best way of putting it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here, because after this one, I gotta go ahead and watch the other one too, Cuba Gooding Junior, The Way of War. I gotta check that one out next. Once I check that one out, I'll let you guys know how I felt about that. But really, I guess this is a thing that I'm doing now. Yep. Actually, tell you guys the truth too. I think I actually cut my finger when I was trying to unwrap this thing. I cut my finger. Whatever happened to Cuba Gooding Junior anyway? Anyway, if you can pick up what I'm putting down around the town, Kharlie Brown. Ta-ta.